Hey, what's up? So Epic Games and Fortnite are notorious for intentionally keeping skins out of the shop to artificially make them more rare. By doing this, they drive up the demand for the skins so that when it eventually does come back into the shop, more people buy them. For example, the basketball skins Jump Shot and Triple Threat hadn't been in the shop for almost a year, and then they brought them back right around the time of the NBA playoffs. That's American basketball. And by doing so, a ton of people bought them. So today what we're going to be doing is looking at what are now the 20 rarest skins in all of Fortnite. Now before we do get into it, I just gotta say, make sure to subscribe to the channel or I will light you on fire. But let's get into it.
Okay.
Coming in at our number 20 spot is going to be the Moisty Mermen. Now we haven't seen the Moisty Mermen in almost half a year, with 180 days since it has been in the shop. Which to me is actually a bit of an odd pick, because the Moisty Merman has always been a kind of hated skin. Very often it was voted as one of the worst legendary skins in Fortnite, and even till today from our ranking skins video, it got a super low spot. So my guess for why this skin is slowly becoming rare is not so much that it's actually sought after, but in fact possibly the opposite. Probably not many people buy this skin when it hits the shop, so Epic has no reason to put it back in. Which ironically makes it even more rare if nobody is buying it. Now at number 19, interestingly enough, we have the Love Ranger. We haven't seen the Love Ranger in the store in 188 days, which was all the way back in November of 2018. Now, it was my expectation that we would have seen this skin for Valentine's Day, but Epic Games chose not to release it. So it's already been 188 days, and if it wasn't released during Valentine's Day, my expectation is that we probably won't see it till the next one in 2020. Again, this is a prime example of Epic Games trying to make a skin more rare, and if it isn't in the shop for probably what will be almost 500 days, next February, the demand for the skin is going to be crazy. So if you do have the skin, you're actually in a pretty good spot to have what is going to become a quite rare skin. Now, number 18, we have Bandolier. Bandolier has surprisingly not been in the shop for 192 days. Followed by our 17th spot, which is going to be the Sleuth Detective skin Gumshoe. Gumshoe just tops out Bandolier at 193 days. And then at 16, we have another skin which I think is rare because it looks bad, and this is Diecast. Now, we have seen Chromium in the store as of recent, but Diecast has not been seen for 195 days. Now, it may just be a matter of fact that the skin is not selling, but it seems quite odd to me that they would only make one gender of the set rare. With that being said though, I'm surprised it hasn't been in the shop for so long, and I'm expecting it probably will remain that way. And anyways, to top out our number 15 spot, we have Straw Ops and Heyman. We haven't seen these skins in 201 days. Now moving on to our number 14 spot, this is going to be Dante and Rosa at 213 days. These are the Mexican Day of the Dead skins, which were released just after Halloween. And again, it's another thing that I would not expect to see until the next one in November. And what makes these skins even further more rare is the fact that they had only been in the shop for a few days. We saw them released on November 1st, and from then they were only in the shop for a few days, never to return. And seeing as we won't see these skins probably until November, if you do have them, you've got a very rare skin on your hands. Okay. Now we're at 13. So there are a lot of skins that were all taken from the shop on the exact same day. These are the Halloween skins. So in no particular order, this is 214 days since we've seen them. Let's get into it. We've got the Patch Patroller, Hollowhead, and Jack Gordon, Bunny Moon and Brainiac, the Skull Ranger, and then to me what is just so funny and so interesting is the Skull Trooper. The Skull Trooper was like the most sought after skin ever. And then when it came out, a lot of people did buy it, granted, but it's becoming rare again. Before October, it was like a year rare, and now it's 214 days rare again. Now, obviously, if you have the Purple Skull Trooper, you've got the much more rare version, which hasn't been seen in like 552 days, but that was never actually available for purchase, so we're not going to include it on this list. Now, moving on to our number 12 spot, we've got Heidi and Ludwig. Haven't seen these skins in 216 days, and it is my absolute expectation that the reason why is that they just didn't sell well. They're pretty boring skins, they have nothing going for them, and because of that, Epic tried and probably saw low sales and were like, well, there's no point of putting these back into the game. Now, interestingly enough, at number 11, we have another reactive skin, Deadfire. Now, I don't know what it is. Like, I really thought that Epic Games would add more reactive skins into the game, but apparently they just don't sell well. We saw Dante and Rosa added in and Deadfire, but since then, not much. And now what's even more interesting is Deadfire is not even so much a Halloween skin, but is actually more tied to the Cube event. So I don't know when we might ever see this skin again, unless perhaps on Halloween. So it's another skin that is not only rare, but like in my opinion at least very cool, as it's one of the few reactive skins in Fortnite. Anyways, to top out our number 10 spot, a very random one. I don't know why this is the case, but this is Midnight Ops. The last time we saw Midnight Ops was October 24th of 2018, which was 222 days ago. This is actually one of the more OG skins of Fortnite, and it doesn't make sense to me that we haven't seen it in a while, but I'm guessing Epic has something cooking up for it. And now we're gonna take a huge step back to September 10th of 2018. This is the last time we've seen the Recon Scout. Now this is interestingly actually a fairly good looking skin. It's one of those subtle skins that I presume people to actually like, so I can't explain why we haven't seen it in so long. It's been 266 days, and the only reason I can assume that it hasn't been is just, again, Epic Games wanting to make artificial demand for like a kind of simple and basic skin. Now moving on to our number 8 spot, released just a day before, is the Fireworks Team Leader. We haven't seen this skin since September 9th. This is a skin that if you do have is rare, and I would expect is going to probably lose its rarity as soon as July 4th runs around. So if this is something that you do have, like myself, enjoy while you got it. Now moving on briefly again with 273 days is Far Out Man. Now this is very weird, as the female skin to this set is not rare whatsoever, but for some reason they just have decided to take this guy out of the game. But anyways, before we get on to our number 6 spot, I wanted to just include that this is where Jump Shot and Triple Threat would have placed. It had been 329 days since they got introduced back into the store. So officially they would have been number 7. But now they're probably not rare at all, so big F in the chat for the basketball skins and all the owners of them. Anyways, moving on to our number 6 spot. This is going to be the Star Spangled Trooper and Star Spangled Ranger. This is just ridiculous. To say that these two skins are the 6th rarest in Fortnite is dumb. It's been 333 days since we've seen them, and they're just not that special. They're just basic skins, but they're July 4th themed skins, and we haven't seen them since around that time. They're coming back July 4th, or maybe a few days before, I can guarantee you. So if you have them like myself, use them while they're rare, or they'll forever be less rare than they currently are. Words. All right, so moving on to number 5, this is a bit of a technical pick, but I did want to include this one, and it is the Black Knight. Since the Star Spangled Trooper and Ranger would have been 5 and 6, I thought we'd just put them together and then actually include a Battle Pass skin. It's been 471 days since we've seen the Black Knight, but it's obviously not in the shop. I didn't want to include the later Battle Pass skins like Omega and John Wick, just simply because a lot of people have them and I don't really think it's fair to call them rare. But the Black Knight is both rare and has not been seen in a very long time. 471 days takes us all the way back to February 21st of 2018. Anyways, moving on to our number 4 spot. This is going to be the only remaining rare Christmas skin, and this is Codename Elf. Now this is one that really blows my mind because, you know, it was always the gingerbread skins, it was always Crackshot, or maybe even Nogops and Yuletide Ranger that were really sought after. But Codename Elf is getting the rarity for himself. It was the only original Christmas skin that was not re-released into the shop, and it is now 488 days rare. Now, I'm guessing they probably will re-release this skin next Christmas when it is, again, no worse than the number 4 spot on our list. And when that time comes, they're gonna cash a fat check. Okay, now moving on to our number 3 spot, this is going to be the Renegade Raider and Aerial Assault Trooper. For those of you that don't know, these skins were part of a seasonal shop that you had to get to a certain level before you could buy them, but they were technically in a shop. And the last time we saw these skins were 571 days ago on the end of Fortnite Season 1. That was December 21st of 2017. think about where you were then. That's how old these skins are. Now, it goes without saying that the Renegade Raider is less rare than the Aerial Assault Trooper, just purely anecdotal. I think we can all assume that, you never see an Aerial Assault Trooper because it just wasn't as sought after as the Renegade Raider was. Anyways, moving on to number 2. This is going to be expected. We have the Ghoul Troupe. It's been 552 days since we've seen the Ghoul Trooper. Now, the Skull Trooper was right there with her until they massacred my boy, and he's now 214 days rare, so rare, but he's no Ghoul Trooper. This is a skin that I'll see very, very rarely, once in a while, and it is a pretty cool sight to see. It's one of those OG guys. It's one of the skins I really regret not getting, but as we all know, it is one of the rare skins in Fortnite. And anyways, to top out our number 1 spot with 568 days. The last time we saw this was November 12th of 2017, is of course the Recon Expert. But anyways, that is going to be our video for today. Make sure to leave a like and don't forget to subscribe, as getting caught on fire is bad for your health. You wouldn't want that to happen to you. I'd hate to do it, but if you don't subscribe, I kind of got it. So subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Peace. I think that's good.